Today's topic is very interesting and useful too, especially in our spiritual path. If we develop discrimination, this will not only help us spiritually, but also will help us gaining success in each and every sphere of our life. In fact, what Shamini ji has said just in the beginning of Satsang, what is discrimination? Because before discussing or before sharing with you regarding developing discrimination, first we must understand what is discrimination. Shamini ji has just prayed to Guru. Guru, help us in deciding what is right, what is wrong. To decide from wrong what is right, take us from darkness to light, from lifting us from bottom to upward. And in affirmation also, Renuji has just read, everything has been told whatever I have to say. I will just explain in detail that thing. So discrimination is to choose what is good, what is wrong. And this is not a sort of a word which is synonymous with prejudice. This is not prejudice. This is on spiritual path is this discrimination means to surround oneself with the company of uplifted souls, in uplifted ideas, and with uplifted things. And as the affirmation says, Swamiji has very beautifully said, as science measures the relative speed of any object with one constant light, the devotee measures the merit of any idea with the constant of one God. So discrimination tells us, is it wisdom? Is it of God? And to put it in other words, is this thing going to give us joy? Is this thing going to give us peace or calmness? This is what the discrimination is. In fact, we all are very intelligent. We are intelligent more than what we think. But we ignore those things. Sometimes we are in the situation that we do not know what is good, what is bad. But many times we know what is good, what is bad. Even then we choose the other thing. Just for an example. You return from your work in the evening. And after easing yourself, there are two options with you. Either to sit for meditation or watch TV. And you very much know what is going to give you what. But still you choose, okay, I watch TV. You know that meditation is going to give you good thing. It is going to lift your energy. But still, you opt to watch TV. Just ignore that guidance. Then what happens? If you are watching horror movie or any movie which is playing with your emotions or give you negative things or some fight is there, what is going to happen? Your energy will be down. And at the end, you will be exhausted. So you chose yourself, you were given a choice, but you opted for watching TV. So how can we choose the right path? How can we choose that we should do this thing? Swamiji used to say, and even Paramahansa Yogananda ji often used to stress on this thing, that try to keep your silence. Be silent as much as you can. But this doesn't mean that you have not to speak anything. You speak only when you feel that your speech is better than your silence. Otherwise, it is always better to be silent. The more you will practice this, the more you will be in a position, the more you will be able to discriminate the things. Secondly, you sit for meditation. And whosoever is Kiryaban here, they all know that when you sit for meditation, you try to lift your energy up. After meditation, what you get? Peace, calmness, joy, or whatever you feel. You may feel light also. Try to keep that peace or calmness throughout your day, in each and every activity you do. And for that, after getting up from meditation, always keep your gaze here throughout the day. Throughout the day. Paramahansa Yogananda ji used to keep his gaze here only, between the spiritual eye, at the spiritual eye, right? And that was the reason he was able to handle so many big projects, because his energy was always uplifted. So practice this thing. Be in silence. And keep your gaze here only, always. And whatever you do, try to feel that peace or that calmness into each and every activity. Right? And then there is one more thing. What happens? Thoughts are not self-created. Whatever thoughts are coming to you, those are not self-created. Those are universally present. It is the kind of energy which you have, that energy attracts those thoughts. Now what happens? In your life, when you come across in such a situation that you are unable to decide whether to go this way or to go that way. So at that very moment, what is the most important thing you want? The direction, the thought, the right thought, where to move. And that right thought can only come from the higher spheres. If your energy is down in the lower, especially in lower 3 chakras, you will be having only those thoughts of negativity, of fear, of insecurity. So you will not be able to perceive that thought. And if your energy is uplifted in the higher chakras, that energy will attract those thoughts correspond to that energy, higher thoughts. So that will give you guidance. It is not, discrimination is not that if you are very much educated or you are intelligent, you have read all the books, you are able to decide the things. No, it is soul's intuition. It is something which you have to perceive, not decide. It is not the act of your brain. Right? One thing more. Sometimes what happens, your energy goes up and you are very happy. My energy is up and I can decide the things. But sometimes that energy is deceitful, that is going to deceive you. Take an example. You are going on a roadside. Suddenly you see a beautiful car, and that car is your dream car. And you say, oh, what a beautiful car. I want to have this. And your energy is uplifted. So whether that uplifted energy is the energy which we are talking here, and then what is the yardstick? How can we say that this uplifted energy is the one which we are talking and this is the one which should not be there? The only measurement is that you have to see whether that energy gives you calmness or not. If that enhanced, uplifted energy also gives you calmness, it means a right one. You can take the decision. Right? And two things more. One thing is, I will take 2 minutes.
Oh, we are enjoying.
Two things more. Sometimes this discrimination is lost due to your self-will and due to your likes and dislikes. If you act upon your self-will only, with the exclusion of God's will, that will not work. Your discrimination will not work. And same way, your likes and dislikes. Right? I gave you an example of your this car. This is your likes and dislikes. So when you are overpowered by your likes and dislikes, that will give you emotional response only, not the actual energy. So what you have to do, try to be silent. Only speak when you know that your words will be better than your silence. Always keep your gaze upward and try to take your joy, happiness or peace, whatever you feel in meditation, in your day-to-day activity, and keep your hearts open so that you are receptive. Right? And I am sure in the last, pray to Master. Always pray to Master. Master, you guide me. I do not know what is good, what is bad. And the Master, if your prayer is sincere, it is not from your, just like that only. If you are sincere, if it is from your heart, you will be guided. Babaji will put thoughts into your mind. So practice this. I am sure you will be able to develop discrimination. And thank you very much. Wish all of you very, very happy Navratras. Jai Guru.
Okay, so good morning to everybody and thank you, Prem Inder ji. The reason we were smiling is because today there was one more thing and one more, two more things. And I love that because I also get excited, when you start talking these teachings, we get like, oh wait, Master also said this, he also said that, and they keep coming to mind, and that was very enjoyable. So, starting with this topic of discrimination, I don't know if you all have actually thought of this concept. I actually never really thought of discrimination. Usually you're like devotion and calmness and joy and peace. So you're going in all those, which you want to develop. But discrimination is so interesting. I actually never even tuned in somehow. I never tuned into this affirmation which we did or any of these concepts. But actually, if you see, to practice any of those other teachings, right, of calmness, of peace, of joy, what Premandaji was talking, we need discrimination first. Otherwise, you won't even get that, you know. And very beautifully, like he shared also, we have certain choices. So in a way, discrimination is like a constant thing we have to do the whole day. It's like every moment you get a choice. Every moment you get a choice, and you go either up with that choice or you go down with that choice, no? And like the movie that he was talking about, I like that very much. Because, you know, it's like Yogananda ji also told us, don't just take what I'm saying, no? Take what I'm saying and try it. See if it makes any difference or not. So it reminded me when he was talking about horror movie. I never watch horror movies now for obvious reasons. It comes in my meditation and then I start, oh no, and I can't sleep. And I'm sure all of you have that. And when you become a bit more sensitive, no, when you're meditating and all, you don't want to open yourself to those realities. But I was in the plane a few years back. We went to visit Bharat's family in Canada. You know, international flight and all. So you're with that thing, no? Okay, which movie should I see? And I was like, okay, let's watch something interesting, something different. So I put someone, I didn't even know it was a thriller, but it was very interesting. So I went into it and all. 3 hours later, I was like, no, like, oh my God, how do I break this thing, you know? And it was like the whole flight was left from Canada to India. And it was just, I was like, I have to close my eyes, I have to meditate, I have to raise my energy somehow. I was feeling trapped, you know, in that space. It was entertaining, but the effects of it was not, you know. And it's very good to pay attention. So now whenever I get tempted, acha, let's watch a thriller. When I visit my dad, he's like, let's watch a thriller. And no, I start saying, let's watch a comedy together. We need to laugh, we need to have fun. Because you remember those things, no, in yourself. Don't let it just remain as like, and you keep repeating the same mistake. So I love that example. That's a fun thing, you know, it's more light. But there are more and more subtle things as we go on the path. Master says that the discrimination that we have to do will become more and more subtle as we go. So in the beginning, the discrimination is, should I meditate or not? Or should I eat this or not? Or should I react or not? But then as you keep going, notice every moment by moment, the discrimination we need to do will become more and more subtle, no? And we'll need to pay attention. And so it's very important, discrimination, Master says, goes with introspection. So you all might have thought of introspection very much, because that's something every spiritual seeker, we all have to introspect to come here. Otherwise, we wouldn't bother to come on a Sunday. We would be like, I'll relax. But we've introspected. We've tried both. When I go and relax like that, how I feel, versus when I go meditate, be with spiritual seekers, how do I feel? No, we know the difference. That's also discrimination, no? When we actually introspect and start to make choices along those lines of, no, not doing that again. No, I'm not going there again. And also with introspection, Swamiji says something very interesting, that all of us, we have this divine memory inside. So if we saw the affirmation also, which was read, the wisdom guidance of my soul, help me to feel the wisdom guidance of my soul, which means he's saying to us that, we've all been on this journey for quite a while to get here. To anyone who comes, Yogananda would say, anyone who comes to these teachings has come quite far along on the spiritual path to even come here. That means we've earned this much, whatever we've come to. Which means also we have gone through experiences and we have those memories inside of this discrimination, of that didn't work, I'm not going there, that attitude is not right, I shouldn't do this. And those are wisdom guidance of the soul. It's not like someone has to tell us necessarily, no? It's something awakens inside us, which means that discrimination, we've practiced it with some of those things. So it's very good to pay attention in those, no? Some of those in meditation, just offer it. And in day-to-day activity also, the merit of it, we go through life, we go through situations, sometimes maybe we don't behave so well. Come back, as Premendraji was saying, use the power of the Guru, use the power of the divine to help. Meaning to say, don't sit there and beat yourself up. Oh, I reacted and I'm so bad and why did I do this? And Swamiji would say, what a waste of time. If you're going to sit and beat yourself up, like how egoic to think you were so perfect, you couldn't make a mistake in the first place, he would say. No, just I did this, I don't want to behave like that again. I don't want to feel like that again. I don't want to react again. And then we just offer it over here at the point between the eyebrows, offer it at the altar. And in that, our discrimination starts getting strong. So the next time we are going to react, perhaps something will whisper inside, control the reactive process, no? Or just take a breath, or just walk away, or just do, we were talking yesterday, do some japa, no? If you have to be in a difficult situation. Just kind of start paying attention. Oh, I'm not going to that space. I'm not going to go and enter that environment because I know what it does to my energy, I'm not going to start responding in that way. I know what it takes out of me. So we start to catch ourselves quickly. And as fast as we can keep catching ourselves, the more and more it will be easier to stick on the straight and narrow path, of just not getting too much caught into this. And another part, one is introspection. Another part very much, which again Preminderji has touched on, is devotion. So discrimination and devotion must go hand in hand. Otherwise it becomes a very dry path, Swamiji says. So the affirmation, like we've been doing these affirmations, the affirmation for devotion is, it starts with the sword of devotion. I sever the heartstrings. And even discrimination, Yogananda ji said, is a sword. Think of it, it's like a violent thing. It's something you need to cut, but not others, cut in yourself. Certain tendencies, certain habits, certain ways. We need to be very strong with the ego, in those ways. There are saints who are very blunt with themselves. That's why they get there. They are just like, no, this was wrong. I haven't to act like that. I should change this habit. I need to change that. And you kind of keep cutting. And so you cut those heartstrings which are going out. So using our devotion, the sweetness, coming at the altar, offering to Master, this was wrong, I understand, help me change myself. So discrimination becomes a very powerful tool because we start to see, not in others, but in ourselves, what is going to give me happiness or what is going to bring me sorrow. And it's just that is the clear one. That much what Preminderji was saying, what we prayed in the beginning. It's either going to give you joy or it's going to take you down. And if it took you down, introspect. What took me down? Oh, trace it back, catch it. No, not going there. Not watching another horror movie when I have a long flight. And you just catch that. Versus, oh, when I went to the satsang, even though I was feeling very tired, I was feeling sick, just being with other devotees lifted my energy. Maybe I should do that more. And we start using the discrimination in that way. And then it doesn't become this long, tedious path, that we are like, just treading along. But you learn to quickly catch things that are there. So I'll end with this story. This is a nice one from Swamiji. Used to love to tell this story, and he used to tell it with great joy, great humor. You'll hear him in recordings. But in this topic of discrimination, he would tell of this prisoner who was there. He was put in the prison cell. And the guy just walked around, and every time he saw paper chits on the floor, he would pick it up and he would say, this isn't it, put it down. He would take another paper chit, this isn't it, put it down. This isn't it. And so people started saying, what is this guy doing? Like maybe he's lost his mind, like maybe he needs to be sent to a psychiatrist. He seems to be crazy. So let's admit him. So they got him admitted in the psychiatrist. And then the psychiatrist talked to him and gave him a discharge slip that he needs to be discharged. So he got the slip, he opened it, he was like, this is it! And then he walked out of there free. And Swamiji would say that as a tool for discrimination, that we've all done this for many lives. We've all been there, this isn't it, that didn't work, this didn't work. But finally it's like, oh, this is it. This is the way out. So if that's it, what do I do to make everything else cut? That this becomes the clear way, the clear goal, as Preminderji was also sharing. So he shared very beautiful tips. We know the tips, we know the practices that we have to do. But I'll end with this, and you can close your eyes. This is, I saved something from Swamiji to read on this discrimination itself. So he said, if you think of how to develop right attitude on the spiritual path, the first step, he gives us 2 steps. The first step is meditation. And again, Preminderji has talked about that. Why meditation? It lifts our energy to the point between the eyebrows. The second one, he says, the second point is conscious effort at discrimination. So that's very interesting. Meditation and conscious effort at discrimination. And then he says, remember, the active expression of virtue gives rise to the keenest intelligence. Both are absolutely necessary. Meditation brings one to the state of consciousness where true discrimination is possible. But we have to make the effort to discriminate, otherwise we will never know. In order to discriminate truly, he gives us 3 points. So these are 3 points maybe we can take how to discriminate. 1. Be absolutely honest with yourself. Be completely sincere. 2. Weed out all self-justifications and rationalizations. Never justify any action that we are doing. And 3. Be willing to see self in the worst light. Face it. It's like we have faults, we have things, face it, offer it. If you actually bring it, face it in yourself, you can bring it to the altar, you can bring it to the master, and then he can actually help us with that. So let's take some of these practices this week. Let's play with discrimination a little bit. Try to see in ourselves what can we see more clearly, what are we able to work with, what are we able to even offer up to the divine.